Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to race number 21 and second race of the Elite Eight for the PCSRA Craftsman Truck Series debut season. Getting set to go racing here at the Talladega Super Speedway for the Love's RV Stop 250. 10 laps of racing coming your way. Maisie Creighton is on the pole position for today's race. Maisie is not in the playoffs. She dropped 6 spots down to 29th position in the points. Luis Hernandez is alongside of her. Hernandez comes into this race situated 25th in the points, still looking for their first wins on the season. Olivia Jackson in run number 2, one of the playoff contenders. She is 9 points below the cut line in 7th, needs a good run today. And then Ashton Ingersoll alongside 24th in the point standings for that said drivers. You look at the rest of the starting lineup, a couple of our playoff contenders starting at the rear of the field. Let's get these trucks moving. I'm getting ready to turn my TV down a little bit. Looks like everybody is rolling, and we're getting ready to have our top 10 in or go over the playoff standings presented by Golden Corral for today's race. Billy Kitchens is the points leader. He is 32 points above the cut line. Xavier Allsopp, 22 above the cut line in second. Marcus Sellers is a whopping 9 points above the cut line. And Blake, as some people like to call him as a nickname, and Wagner, which is Blake Wagner, he's only 3 points above the cut line in fourth. Drivers that are below the cut line: J Bodine, 3 points below the cut line. J Underhill, 8 points below the cut line. We just documented Olivia Jackson, who is 9 points below the cut line. And Alex Winters is 11 points below the cut line. So those drivers are going to need a good run here today or find themselves heading into our elimination race at Homestead next week in a must-win situation. Let me turn my TV down real quick. There we go. Sorry about that. TV is a little too loud. J Underhill starting near the rear of the field, but anything at Talladega can happen in 10 laps time. Going to be a very fun race here for all three series as we get ready to set ourselves up for what should be a very interesting elimination race coming up next week at Homestead, which all three series will be racing these last three races. Getting ready to go green flag racing here for 10 laps of racing. The Love's RV Stop 250 is about to get underway. What will the points be like going into our elimination race? We're going to find out as we say, boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers. Going to be an interesting 10 laps of racing here today. The thing for Olivia Jackson, she would like to get a lap lead to possibly have a chance to get into the championship four. Remember, if any of our 8 drivers wins, doesn't matter what happens next week at Homestead, they're into the championship four, regardless of next week's race at Homestead. And normally Homestead would be, in some cases, the NASCAR finale. However, this year it is not the case. Harrison Jenkins, who was recently eliminated from the playoffs, just took the lead from Jackson. I need to get my green cup in between races. Should have done that the first time, but that's all right. Special thank you to Coke Zero, who's been a proud partnership, easy for me to say, for my team. They brought me a Oreo Coke Zero Sugar on my way up to the booth. not a lot of time for drivers to make moves to get themselves to the front and possibly win uh, at Talladega, especially this being a 10-lap race. But we'll have a 19-lap Winston Cup race coming up. Harrison Jenkins just trying to find victory lane as we're going to check the back of the field. Alex Winters, this is not where she needs to be. She needs to get going right now. And if Alex Winters has a poor finish, we're talking about Alex Winters being in a must-win situation going into Homestead next week. J Bodine, who is 3 points below the cut line, this is not where he needs to be. And it looks like Alex Winters was listening to what I was saying. Billy Kitchens, 32 points above the cut line. It's that inside line checking up. There's Xavier Allsopp, 22 points above the cut line. As Cody Goforth, this is technically, you could say, a home race for Goforth, since he is from Louisiana. And of course, even though a lot of fans booed his sponsorship, the LSU Tigers machine, this is Cody Goforth's closest he can get to a home race. Cody Goforth, who's been serving our country, which we appreciate him for doing just that. There's Shyla Askeroff, and there's a playoff contender, Blake Wagner, or Blake as we like to nickname him. Blake Wagner is 3 points above the cut line. Remember, if he wins this race, doesn't matter what happens at Homestead, he's going to Toronto to compete for a championship. J Ard, who was recently eliminated from the playoffs, as we're halfway through the truck race here at Talladega, 5 down, 5 to go. J Ard just trying to finish her season with a trip to victory lane, 10th in points. Comes Luis Hernandez in the 17, who's still looking for his first win on the season. He will take part in the Oreo Cup Series after this season ends, which, by the way, will begin sometime in December, believe it or not. Really looking forward to seeing Luis Hernandez back in a series that, him, Annika Ritchie, which we'll see her in the Busch race tomorrow, Anthony Ritchie, Alina Ritchie, Ian Dutta, yours truly, just to name a few that got to race in that series. And of course, we're going to run the next gen cars in that series. Michael Brown, former winner this season. He is the highest of the drivers who did not make the playoffs, 11th in the points. Michael Brown, who left Nathan Orman's team after the controversy, which I'm not going to discuss on here. He's been doing very good, as here comes the points leader, Billy Kitchens, to the race lead. Hello, Pace Truck. That was not the truck. That was not the one I want to go to, believe it or not. Cheyenne Berkshire in the 15, former winner this season. There's Ingrid Pollard, last season's amateur, the last ever AutoZone amateur champion in that 99 Excite Batteries machine. Ingrid Pollard is 17th in the points. She'll be back in that ride next season for the Truck Series. Cheyenne Berkshire, Chaz Farmer, those two are working together. Looks like Donovan Carter's got an issue. Yeah, his speed is starting to decrease, so something must be up on that 16 machine. He's going to probably have to come to pit road. That's a tough break for him. See if he's going to come to pit road. Yeah, he's losing speed. You can see he's dropped to 154. Yeah, there's something definitely wrong on the IWX Chevrolet. Yeah, he's looking like he's losing speed. Because I'm seeing that speed continue to decrease. I wonder if he's got a problem. He'll have to come to pit. Well, he won't have to come to pit road. We're on the last lap of the race, by the way. Ashton Ingersoll. As they come off turn 4 to the tri-wheel for the final time. Will somebody make a move? Somebody had another problem. I don't know who that was. But off in the tri-wheel, Ashton Ingersoll is going to win at Talladega. Ashton Ingersoll with his first win on the season. 24th in points, a driver who is struggling in the championship. Oh, J Underhill had problems. That's a playoff contender. What happened to J Underhill? Let's see what happened. Because a lot of drivers had trouble. Wow, he slowed down a lot. Oh boy, J Underhill came into this race 8 points below the cut line. And J Underhill may be going into Homestead in a must-win situation. Standings are official. I went the wrong way on the truck series. That was the one I was looking for. Harrison Jenkins will get second. Third, Sam Vickers. On Anthony Ritchie, fourth. Olivia Jackson was the highest of the playoff drivers in fifth. This will put her in a good situation to possibly advance in the final four. Jamie Bodine got sixth. This will also put him in a good position. Blake Wagner, seventh. He was fourth in the points. That critical fourth position in the points as far as the cut line is concerned. We'll see where this is going to situate him. Aaron Hornish, Alina Ritchie, and Billy Kitchens, who was 32 points above the cut line. I think we can safely say, regardless what happens next week, Billy Kitchens is going to go compete for a championship. Who's going to join him next week at Homestead, I don't know, as far as who will be going to Toronto. But we had, let's see, we already talked about J Underhill, 36. That's not where he needed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we already talked about J Underhill. That would be 5. What about the 3 other playoff drivers? Alex Winter, 16th. We're going to see where this is going to situate her. Marcus Sellers in 20th. Look on down through the rest of the finishing results here. There's a driver I'm missing. Oh, Xavier Allsopp, 22nd. So, and we've already talked about J Underhill, and he was below the cut line. J Underhill is going to be in a must-win situation heading into Homestead next week. But nevertheless, 10 laps caution-free, and Ashton Ingersoll is going to victory lane for the first time this season. And the question is, Billy Kitchens might have done enough to lock himself a spot into the championship for, regardless what happens next week at Homestead, Miami Speedway. But we still got to finish up this race weekend from Dega. We got Busch and Winston Cup Series, second race of the Elite 8. Should be a lot of fun. If you enjoyed today's race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Busch race. Until then, I've been Tito signing off. Goodbye from Alabama, Talladega, Alabama to be exact. As you've been watching another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and 15 years as the best in racing around the world since 2017.